Did you know that back in the day, people actually used to be afraid of potatoes? They thought that because the potatoes had bumpy, spotted skin, that this was going to give them the disease leprosy. People were also skeptical of potatoes because potatoes aren't mentioned in the Bible, and so they felt like if it was important, it would be mentioned in scripture, and people used to refer to it as the devil's apples. But then people started to realize the health benefits of eating potatoes. So potatoes actually used to be known as the anti-scurvy food. So scurvy comes from a deficiency in vitamins and minerals. And it's because, like pirates, when they were on ships, they could not store fresh fruits and vegetables. So they had vitamins deficiencies, which caused scurvy. But they found out that potatoes had these essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients and became an anti-scurvy food. So instead of an apple a day, think a potato a day. A potato a day keeps the scurvy away. Arr. So this video is going to be all about potatoes. I am going to try to convince you that potatoes are in fact a superfood. I am also going to talk about how we should be eating them and how we shouldn't be eating them, as well as health benefits and healthy ways to prepare them. Hey, I'm Ariel, a certified vegan nutritionist, but I am also a crazy busy working mom of 6 kids, so I am all about healthy living made simple and doable. So potatoes, it doesn't get much more simple than that. And I honestly feel like potatoes are drastically overlooked as far as being a healthy food. I actually think that it could be quite the opposite. People tend to think that potatoes, since they're in the carb family, are the enemy because of the bad rap that carbs have gotten over the years. But I'm here to tell you that carbs are amazing and do fantastic things for your body. So hear me out. So first, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a potato? A potato is actually a tuber vegetable. So it's attached to the roots of the plant that it produces, and it is like a storage unit for all the nutrients and vitamins and all that good stuff that the plant needs to thrive and survive. So I'm sure you know that potatoes are also a very rich source of starch, and starch is an amazing fuel source for humans. So if you don't know what exactly starch is, it is actually a long chain of glucose. So this long chain of glucose actually takes longer for our body to break down those sugars than single individual glucose cells. So starch and the glucose that our body gets from the starch is so important for our bodies to function properly. Hi, Mags. Say hi, Maggie. Nope, she wants to go play. Fun fact, did you know that our brains run almost completely off of glucose? So I'm going to use a car analogy because everybody knows what a car is. Most people drive a vehicle. Micronutrients are like the essential parts that we need for a car to run. You need oil in the engine, you need windshield wiper fluid, you need power steering fluid, you need air in your tires. All of these things work together to make the car run efficiently, and that's what micronutrients do. Now, starch is like the gasoline. Your car's not going to go anywhere if you don't have any fuel. We need a good energy source for our bodies to do anything, even our heart beating and breath in our lungs. We need a fuel source for that. And if you know anything about the fitness industry at all or anything about nutrition, there's what's called the BMR, your basal metabolic rate. So that is talking about the calories that we need just to sustain life, just to be alive. Again, we need fuel every single day for our bodies to function. No matter what kind of diet you are in, vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, omnivore, fruitarian, you need a fuel source. You need starch to be at the forefront. Carbohydrates need to be at the forefront of what you are eating. It should be one of the biggest sources of calories that we consume. And I mean like 40 to 50%. I shoot for about 40 to 50% carbs. So let's do 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat. That is a majority of what makes up my diet, carbohydrates. So Dr. McDougall, who is very well known in the vegan community, did a study of a low-fat, high-starch vegan diet for 7 days. And I am going to read the results to you and how it was performed. It is mind-blowing. Now, mind you, this is just in a 7-day period. Imagine what it could do in a longer period of time. So the weight loss, the average weight loss in 1 week was 1.4 kilograms. Cholesterol dropped 22 points. Remember, these are median numbers, so some people experience different. Blood pressure reduced. Risk of cardio event was decreased by 2% in just 1 week. That's amazing. So the food prepared had no animal products, nothing derived from an animal, and it also had no oils. Meals were based around common starches with fresh fruits as well as non-starchy vegetables. So the macro profile during the study was 7% fat, 12% protein, and 81% carbohydrates. Meals were served buffet style, and they were encouraged to eat until they were full, until they were satiated. So there was no limit on what they could eat there during the study. The conclusion of the study, they observed an energy, unrestricted, low-fat, starch-based vegan diet in a controlled environment for 7 days resulted in substantial favorable changes in commonly tested biomarkers that are used to predict future risk for cardio and metabolic disease. Like 1 week of a high carbohydrate, low-fat vegan diet, and they saw these kinds of results. That is mind-blowing. If that's not reason enough to include more potatoes in your diet, then I don't know what is. So aside from the fact that potatoes are an excellent source of fuel, they're starchy, they are also extremely nutrient rich. Alrighty, so I pulled up Chronometer and I entered in a raw potato with the skins on so that we can look at the nutritional value. I am changing the portion size to 16 ounces, and right here you can see the macronutrient profile. It gives you your protein, carbs, and fat. And we are going to scroll down to continue to look at what nutritional value a potato can give us. So it tells you your energy right there. Water is great. Carbohydrates, fiber. Look at that fiber, almost 50% of what you need in a day. It's got very, very minimal fat, almost non-existent. Less than 1%. Right there you've got protein, almost a quarter of what you need in a day. And then we're going to scroll down and you see all of these vitamins and minerals that it has. Look at all those B vitamins. That's awesome. It's got folate. It has vitamin C, a lot of it. Calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium. All these amazing nutrients in a potato. So another thing I think is that a lot of people think of 2 kinds of potatoes when you think potatoes. Mostly we think of the white potato, but there's also sweet potatoes, which we know well, but there are many colors of potatoes, and the more colorful that the food is, potatoes included, the more nutrient rich it is. So potatoes actually have phytonutrients, which are an antioxidant. So antioxidants fight off free radicals, and free radicals are things we don't want in our bodies. They cause things like cancer and other diseases and ailments. So we want to try to get rid of free radicals as much as we possibly can. So by eating the rainbow and eating foods that are rich in color, we are going to help increase those antioxidants, reduce those free radicals, and it's going to do amazing things for our body. So the caveat here, how we prepare our food matters. We in America don't tend to eat potatoes in a very healthy way. When you think potatoes, you think mashed potatoes, which are loaded with milks and butters. So very high in fat, high in salt. Fried foods, we eat potato chips, we eat French fries, we eat baked potatoes. None of these are good options, but you can make them a healthy option if you prepare them the right way. So when we choose to eat the fast food versions or the highly processed versions of any food really, but we're talking about potatoes, so potatoes, then you are taking away the nutrition that food provides. And then the main source of calories and really no nutritional value becomes the fat that these foods are cooked in. Think steamed, boiled, baked, things that don't involve oils or long cooking times or high process or high cooking times. And also eat the skins. The skins contain a lot of nutrients. And again, not just for potatoes, anything like carrots, we leave the skins on. Leave the skins on the potatoes if you can. Make potatoes the star of your meals. Don't think of it as a small portion on the side. Your carbs should be a main spotlight of your meal, just like your protein. So when you're preparing your foods, think a big portion of carbs, potatoes, protein, and lots of vegetables, fruits, all that good stuff. That is how you want to portion out your meals. And potatoes are so versatile. Think of all of the ways that you can prepare them. You can add them to curries, to stews, to soups, to casseroles. You can make healthy mashed potatoes, baked potatoes. There are so many ways that you can prepare this food. It is amazing, so get creative. So my favorite way to eat potatoes would have to be mashed potatoes. Of course, I did not grow up vegan, so I used to eat them the way most people do, that are loaded with cream, sour cream, butter, milk, the delicious, not healthy way. But my go-to now, I'm going to share my key tip with you. My trick to making vegan, healthier mashed potatoes is, instead of those calorie-laden ingredients and the fatty ingredients, use hummus. Hummus is an amazing ingredient that you can add to your mashed potatoes that's going to make it creamier, give it a lot of flavor, and it will not disappoint, I promise. And another trick when you are cooking to make it more interesting, if you feel like foods can tend to be boring, especially when you want to make them healthier. That is a big thing. People think that it's boring. Well, it doesn't have to be. And remember, spice it up. Spices and herbs are your friend. And not only that, they're actually really good for you. So load on the spices. Don't be afraid to try new things. You might just find your next favorite meal. So that's what I've got for you today, the lowdown on the potato. You'll have to let me know, leave a comment. Did I convince you? Is a potato a superfood? Do you eat them on a regular basis, and what's your favorite way to eat them? I would love to know, but that's all I got for you. I hope I motivated you and maybe shared something that you didn't already know. But that's it for today. So until next time, as always, I hope you stay happy, stay healthy, and have a very blessed one. See you on the next one.